We want it to go viral. The hardest brief when cats aren't the subject matter. How many times do we see those cat videos come up? I think I've managed to get rid of them on my Facebook feed at the moment. Our next session will uncover the perfect middle ground of cracking briefs for clients and achieving huge organic reach with massive viral results. Our next presenters will talk about the science behind the creative and also managing expectation. From Priceless Productions, we have the account manager Lily France and creative director Max Price. Lily and Max, please welcome them to the stage.
G'day, how you going?
Good, mate.
Hello.
He's brought a couple of beers up. That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
They've started drinks already.
Hi guys, how you going? Last one.
End
Let's
of the
get
day.
through it, hey? Lily, do you want to say who we are or
So we
get the video
are
going?
Priceless Productions together, and we like doing comedy videos. We do comedy advertising because we don't really like being advertised at, and we like watching funny videos is essentially our vibe.
Nailed it. So I thought we'd just watch 2 quick videos and then we'll do a bit more of an intro and background on us, and then we're going to go through an example of a client we work with and a piece we put together and results on that. So this is from a TV show called Kinney, which I was lucky enough to co-write and direct the show. So this was one video that went quite well. Hopefully the sound.
Dave, did you say you were going to make dinner? I couldn't remember. What?
I just wish you'd take some initiative and cook your own dinner for once. I've been at work too, you know, and now I get to come home and pack the dishwasher and then unpack the dishwasher and cook dinner and put the washing on, and you know what? I can't continue to live like this because it's not me.
Hey, relax. It's going to be all right.
How?
Here, I'll just show you. Okay, I've been doing this since we moved in. See this basket thing? I don't know how it happens, if it's the house or what, but any dirty clothes you put in this basket, somehow the next day they're just clean, folded, and in a perfect pile on your bed.
You're not serious.
I couldn't believe it at first either, but it just keeps happening. That's why I didn't tell you. I didn't want to jinx it.
You are insane.
Try it, you'll see. Unless it's only chosen me. See, I don't know.
I can't do this.
No, wait. There's other things too. Plates, cutlery, pizza boxes, dirty tissues, anything you leave on this coffee table just vanishes overnight. I mean, sometimes I'll see how far I can push this thing and I'll just leave shit everywhere. And then sure enough, the next day, it's all gone. It's just vanished. It's magic. No, she wouldn't have left me. This is what I think happened. I heard her get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something. She must have fallen onto the magic coffee table and just vanished.
Are you insane?
No, he's not insane. I've got the same coffee table at home.
Dad, just double checking the sprinkler timers are off. I'm about to mow the lawn.
Dad, did you need a hand?
Dad, what's this shit about you going fishing without me?
Ooh, Dad, is it okay if I have this last bit of chicken?
Dad, come on, it's Sunday. We never do anything as a family anymore.
Can I change the channel, Dad, or are you watching this? Dad, Mitchell just kicked the footy on the roof. Do you want to come outside and supervise while we climb up and try and get it down?
Hey, Dad, that was a funny meme you just put on my Facebook. I haven't seen that one before. Nah, Dad, I'd rather pay for the new shoes myself. You've bought me too much as it is. Oh, Dad, what time do you want me home by?
Dad, can you put some sunscreen on me back?
Hey, did you hear any new jokes today at work, Dad?
Here you go, Dad. The present I got you costs way more than Mum, so don't say anything, okay?
Hey, Dad. Oh, no, don't put Mum on. I actually just wanted to speak to you. How you going?
Hey, turn it down. Dad's trying to have a sleep in.
Dad, I'll wash you dry. You washed last time. Dad, can you wet your thumb? I got something I need rubbed off my face.
Shit, sorry if I woke you, Dad. Just realised I forgot to turn one of the lounge room lights off.
Oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't realise you'd gone to bed. I just forgot to say I love you. All right.
Just let me check. Hey, Dad, Liam's cousin get us VIP tickets to this concert Saturday night, but we're going to Grandma's for dinner, aren't we? Yeah, I thought so. Nah, I can't.
Oh, Dad, I'm having this chick over to watch a movie tonight. Can you just, hang around in the kitchen so she doesn't think anything's going to happen?
Dad, did you need anything washed?
Dad, did you fix my bike? Thank you. Is this you when you were my age, Dad? You look good. I reckon we would have been mates.
Ah, shit, I put finger marks on the windows. Dad, can you bring out a cloth?
Hey, Dad, I borrowed some spare change off your bedside table this morning, but I just replaced it. And rounded up, obviously.
Hey, Dad, can you pick me up from this party tonight at about 11? Just park right out the front and toot your horn and tell everyone you're my dad. They'll find me.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. got you something.
So, Dad, before we go, can you just remember to tell me when I'm doing something wrong? It's the only way I'll get better at this.
Cool. So there were 2 sketches from Kinney on 7 Mate, and then recently Kinney Tonight on Channel 10, which I think there might be another season happening, which is cool. So here's an intro on us. I was, like I said, been a part of the Kinney Ensemble and able to direct the show the last few seasons, and did a bit of screenwriting training over in Los Angeles, which was great. There's a few others, and then there's lovely Lily here.
And I'm an account manager for Priceless, but I do a bit of producing and client liaison, and I'm an actress. I was training over in New York, and I also work in marketing for horses. So we really like to keep things a bit weird.
Yeah, it is weird. So here's a couple of people we've worked for. Recently we've done some stuff with Carlton Draft in the footy finals, which should be coming out soon, which is great. And I was actually on the footy show, the AFL one, and I was there for when we got the sword put through us, which was kind of crazy. And then I was sports bet for 9 years, actually, and then I was the creative lead there before I decided to go out on my own. So yeah, let's just talk about this kind of V word, viral. For a little while, a lot of marketing managers were like, that's all they wanted, and it's a big ask. It's a big request, and essentially, we kind of break it down now to 2 types of virals. There's your cat viral and your cracking brief viral, because anyone in this room can go viral. As you can see there, you can just get a cat and hide a cucumber near it. And if you haven't seen this is bloody excellent. There's 12 minutes of this, and we're watching it. No, we're not. We're just watching about 30 seconds of it. Anyway, this has millions of views online, and so it should. I'll just pause that there. I don't know why that happens, but it's great. So there's that, and then what we try and do is actually crack a brief. Trying to create meaningful content that resonates with the demographic and target market. And that sometimes might not mean going viral, but it also means the content's resonating with the people it should be, and hopefully getting results. And I kind of got a thing down here saying the restaurant tag section or suggestion, and that's along the lines of, if you were walking down the street in Thailand and there was 20 restaurants, and one of your mates said, you should try this place, you're more likely going to go there. And you're trying to kind of treat the same thing with someone tagging a mate. So if I was to tag you, there is a lot more chance that you're going to consume the content and get involved in it, because it's like a reference. So, and because we work in comedy, we try and just call it banter ammo. So it's banter ammunition, and we create content that people can go, oh, I might tag my mate in that, and then you kind of, we link mates together and kind of create a bit of a vibe. And that was our whole premise at Sportsbet, was just to kind of act like a mate, like another mate of everyone out there, and create content, because we had marketing spend to do it and produce stuff. So why not comedy? I thought I had to put a pie chart in there to make it look like this was legit. But if you look at that, the joy, amusement, laughter is almost half of it in terms of online content and what gets shared. So we stuck ourselves into that bit, and we talk. If you really break it all apart and just take our marketing hats off for a second, like, why would we ever be on social media? It's definitely not to be advertised at. I've never loaded up Facebook going, I wonder...
Hope someone sells me something today.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're obviously on there to see if your ex has found someone uglier and less successful than you. That's a given. And you're on there to be entertained. And I found a lot of big agencies focused a lot on their above-the-line campaigns, so really high-end TV ads, and then would put nothing into social media. All they'd do is they'd take their really nice 30-second ad and then pump it on Facebook, and you'd sniff that from a mile away, and you just scroll straight past it. So what we've been trying to do recently is going, hey, spend a little bit less on the old TV thing And why don't you actually, throughout the same campaign, spend some, production money to do something on social that means something to people on social media. Which is essentially just like, I believe brands should entertain in an entertaining space. Cool. Anything to add to that, Lily?
No, I guess, we all know this, but everyone walks out of the train, out of work at the end of the day, they jump on the train and you look around and everyone has a phone in their hand and no one's looking to be sold anything, but everyone has a platform in their hand. So why not put something there that they want to watch, that they want to send to their friends, and if one friend sends it to one, then to another, and it gets to everyone, and there's no reason that you can't subliminally sell something in that space that's fun and cool and people want to watch the full way through.
Boom. Cool. So that one, those two videos I showed before, they're just some stats on them. I mean, to be honest, this one here, that mystery basket thing was on Unilad, and it got shared 1.4 million times just.
It came to 121 million views, something just on Unilad. That's not including
actually
YouTube,
the Kinney sign and all that.
Kinney, anything. For a 2-minute entertaining video, it's just a phenomenal reach.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about some content that relates more to brands, but this was just from the TV show. So, here we go. So, this is production from essentially, there'll be some good stuff in here and some stuff that's not relevant, but there might be something that you guys might like in this. This is essentially the whole thing, from writing through to the post-production. And this is some of the stuff that I learned in Los Angeles, and then also just budget filmmaking. Did a lot of YouTube stuff before we did TV stuff. So there was no budgets, and thankfully technology's gotten great in terms of film equipment and editing software and sound and blah, blah, blah. So we were able to kind of do a lot of stuff with small budgets, and I've kind of been able to put that into Priceless. So in terms of the writing phase, source the right people. No, that got nothing cool. So find your comedians that suit the brand. So just getting any comic won't work. So I don't know if anyone knows Auntie Donna. They're brilliant. They're very, very funny, but they're kind of like your Monty Pythons and a little bit more obscure. Whereas I guess myself and Troy, in terms of writing perspective, we play down the relatable path. So just getting, comedy copywriters and all that, you actually got to do a bit of filtering to make sure you get the right people. If we're not the demographic, we do a lot of research, so we make sure that we get out our second cousins and have coffees with them, and strangers and aunties and uncles, and we'll take them out for dinner, put something in the budget to go and fill them up with alcohol and pen and paper and write everything down. We do these ideation sessions, which we used to do at Sportsbet, which I absolutely love, and I really recommend them. That we used to say, here's half a day and we're going to do it off-site, and we would ask anyone and everyone from the business to come along. So it would be an open invite, and we get someone from finance and someone from the IT department, and our internal creative team would be with them, and we say, come with 10 insights and 5 ideas. Doesn't matter how shit they are, just come with them. And we'd sit down and we'd write them on walls and stuff, and what we found was, even though they thought it was a shit insight or it wasn't relevant, it would be a great embryo for us, and a little embryo idea go, I haven't thought of that angle, and we'd build from that. So that was something when I worked at Sportsbet, I did all the time, and we would be able to pretty much set up our entire year's worth of social content from a day session. And yeah, it was great fun. This is massive for me, be honest and be primal. Ricky Gervais always says, write what you know. So, there's not more I can add to that really. If you write what you know and be honest, it'll resonate in the content that you make. And the be primal is huge. We haven't really evolved much since cavemen and women. We still want to fuck everything, we still want money, we're still going to die, it's very much what we were doing 1,000 years ago, we're doing now, but we have iPhones. So the premise is, if you play with content that's talking about relationship and talking about money and talking about death, not that death's a bit morbid, but you'll relate to it more because it happens to everyone. But yeah, sorry, that was a bit full on. And then have fun. I'll say that a few times, but let's just not take things too seriously. The pre-production phase, over-communicate in this phase because scripts are cheaper to change when they're just in a little Word document, not once we're shooting, because sometimes we'll get marketing managers going, I didn't think that was, I thought we were going to have a blue car, not a red, yeah. So this is where it comes down to mood boards and references. If you are working with production companies, make sure that you are getting visual references and even image-based references and video references, so you can connect the non-creative brains with creative brains and everyone's on the same page. Obviously there has to be brand integration. People can sniff out an ad from a mile away on social media, and as soon as they feel like it is an ad, you've lost them. So it's just got to be quite clever. Keep it relaxed, blah, blah, blah. In terms of wanting to keep some your budgets down, try and book your young guns, the whippersnappers out of Swinburne Film and TV or some kind of uni course.
You're in Sydney, not in Melbourne.
Oh, what's the Sydney one? Sydney Uni, film, just some film
Anywhere.
uni thing. Because they would all have, they'd have cameras with them now because they're not that expensive, and Daddy might have bought them for some reason, and they need something on their reel, and they need to.
They're hungry.
They're hungry, exactly. So we try and book young guns. We use up and coming talent and comedians. So I'll often go to open mic nights and sit in the crowd and find someone I like and go, let's try and do something. That'd be good. On set, we feed them. We make sure we feed them well. Seems like a real nothing thing, but it's everything. If you fill up everyone's belly during a shoot, people come back and people enjoy the afternoon. And if everyone's been on a 10-hour shoot, you know how hard it is the last hour or two, especially if you're running behind. So make sure you cater well. Don't know if this matters to anyone, but anyway. Finish early if you can. Film shoots are notoriously bad for running over. So finish, if you can try and know your scheduling well and try and wrap an hour, half an hour early. Everyone loves you for it. They get to go home earlier and they'll come back as well. The halve and halve again needs a bit of explaining. In post-production, it pretty much talks about, this is just about pace really. So when you're editing some social content, and you think it's running long, it's running long. And so I would say, why don't you try and literally halve the edit? Why don't you just go from 2 minutes to 1 minute, and then can it go 30 seconds? Just as soon as you feel a bit like it's lulling and dropping and your attention drops off, it's not you, it's everyone. So I know that people might have done some stuff earlier in the day about how no one puts sound on, which is so annoying for someone who respects the art of filmmaking and storytelling. But people don't put the sound on, but you get taught in filmmaking that sound complements vision. Is that right? Vision complements sound. Other way around. So in other words, sound's more important. So if you're ever watching stuff back before you're about to export it and upload it, just listen with your ears, and the minute your attention drops out, just add something, put something short in it. This is as simple as if you're shooting out in a park and there's some dialogue that drops off for a second and then the next person starts talking, put in a dog barking in the background. And that just keeps sound going. So when you look at waveforms in your edit, it should just continually be sound, and that creates so much energy and keeps retention. There's so much more of that, but let's go drinking and get through this thing. Anything else?
Not on this. This is your strength.
Yeah, cool. This isn't gonna be funny. I don't like saying the word influencer, and so I was like, we'll just go established content creators with a following, and then I was like, ECWAFs. So that's a thing now that we're from today on. So working with ECWAFs has been something that we've really enjoyed. It helps that we dabble in comedy and dabble in stand-up and things like that. So we kind of have a better relationship with these influencers or equafs because they, we're one of them, essentially. We like to try and think so. So yeah, it just talks about it's better if you use them. And then tips when you do work with them. And this is huge because a lot of my mates are these people, and I talk to them about when they work with brands and how often they can't wait to never see them again. And it's often because they get things thrown at them last second. So it's like on a shoot where it's, you've done 10 hours and people are packing up, and some marketing manager goes, "Can you just quickly say, swipe up to watch the video," and all that? And they're like, "Fuck, I want to go home. What are you doing?" So, but if that's in the brief from the get-go, then everyone's on board, and it's really embarrassing and infuriating when these last-minute things are thrown at them. And again, you want them back, and they all talk to each other, so you quickly know, they know quickly not to say yes to your stuff.
I think that comes back to as well picking the right person.
I can watch here.
Yeah,
So,
no, you don't. Picking the right person that suits your brand. So for us, we often try and work with companies that we are similar, that we want to go out for a beer with, that we want to get along with, and then we like to be the same with our equaf that we pick, is that it's someone that you want to hang out with because you respect them and they respect you. They want to do that extra little thing for you. They want to stay back for you, and you in turn don't want to fuck them around.
Yeah.
And it comes out in your work.
Absolutely. And to be honest, if anyone that has worked with influencers and people with big followings, they're weirdos. It's someone that can literally film themselves all day and think that anyone cares are different cats. So they're often really bad at responding to emails, and they as soon as they say yes, then they become the hardest person to talk to. But yeah, so managing that relationship well is so key. Don't make it feel like it's forced, and don't make it feel like it's work. That's essentially it. And we've managed to keep some really, really good relationships with some great people. Okay, we're going to go through an example of one of these things that we did. And if this is live streaming, Business Daddy is watching, Skill Certified. So who they are, you can read this, but the shortcut of it is, if you work as and if I get this wrong, you can text me, and I'm sorry, guys. If you work as a tradie, maybe you're like a labourer, and you're like, I might do a Sparky apprenticeship, and then you don't do it, and then 4 or 5 years later, you're like, oh shit, I should have done that. I can't go back on apprentice wages, that's going to kill me. They can kind of go through this system, and you pay them a bit of cash, and then they go into bat for you, and if it's successful, you can just go get your ticket like that. So that I hadn't heard of them before, so what do they want? They wanted what we're talking about now. So we just started thinking about their target market and demographic. Tradies, predominantly male, ones who kind of make bad decisions, to be honest. They didn't commit to this apprenticeship thing. 6 years later, they wish they did. They enjoy smoko, and they're probably on their phones more than a teenage millennial. And then, you just try and dive in a little bit further, and we started getting a bit into the kind of stereotypes. Open this out to the floor, like I remember this. And please respond just to this. Where do tradies go when they're not working?
Hey!
Yeah, so that's very much where we kind of landed. We're like, tradie, pub, what if they ran one or they owned one? So we're like, okay, cool, this is starting to play in our space. They wanted viral, they wanted a brand awareness piece. I was like, what's your call to action? They're like, we just want logos in there, and we just want people liking our Facebook page. We want people there. All right, cool. Okay, let's just play with this. So we wanted to broaden out the stereotypes, and I'm going to say a couple of these because you might be able to see it once we show you the piece. Oh God, I should read this. When would a tradie open up for the day? Smoko being very unhealthy. What would they serve? What would they be on tap? Plumbers are in charge of pipes and taps. That's interesting for us. So this is all kind of like our little creative brain farts that we had in some ideas sessions when we were at the pub as well. And we brought along some tradie mates. So we sat there, pen and paper, fed them beer, talked. We had all these ideas. So we went from this phase into scripting phase. We write our scripts exactly how you would Final Draft screenwriting program, which is like industry standard and what they use on TV and films. You won't be able to read any of this from back there, but if I just was to read this one, that's even smaller. Interior restaurant morning. Aaron is passing out menus to customers sitting around. He stops at a table and tells them the specials. Aaron, our Smoko special today is activated dare ice coffee with burnt pastry sausage rolls. Patrons are confused. So that's just a little bite-sized scene. As you can see, there's just on 3 pages, I think there was 4 or 5 pages. We're up to kind of 12 scenes. We write our content for social in these, as often as we can, in these little bites, these little scenes. And the great thing about it, and you can't read it, but if something doesn't quite work, we can pull scene 7 and 6 and 8 actually still make sense because it's standalone. They're standalone scenes. Great when you're working with clients because humor's subjective, and sometimes what you write on paper you might think is the best thing you've ever read, and you film it and it's not that good, and then it can often happen the other way around where you go, this is lucky to make the cut. We'll film it, and that's what we lead with. We're like, that's
gold.
And that's just part of it. You can never quite nail that. But anyway, so we sent that to the client. They loved it, and in there we can kind of see, graphic tradies owned a pub presented by Skill Certified. So we're telling the brand throughout the script where we'll see, some stubby holders here and drink bottles and this and that. So we want to be, I guess, subtle, but
subliminal messaging.
It's getting uploaded on their Facebook page and shared on our Equaf. Remember that? Which was Aaron Goxie. Has anyone heard of this guy? Yeah, he's. I love him. I absolutely love him. There's a video there. His big claim to fame was the classic stitch-up thing. You might have heard people say that before. I won't play it, but he's got about almost 100,000 likes on his page, and that video that he went viral on, it was all about a tradie scenario. So we thought he couldn't be more perfect. So on to behind the scenes. As you can see up here, these are our young guns we got for this shoot. Sorry, I'm talking so much.
No,
Right,
look, run with it.
So these little kind of really nimble shoots, especially when we were doing this. So it's obviously all budget dependent, but this is just maybe a little example of behind the scenes on one of them.
Maybe just if we speed the line. That's great. Okay, roll up.
Then it kind of came in and started there.
And then start going. Yeah. Hey guys, today's Smoko specials, we have activated dare ice coffee and $50 plus GST.
What? That's like double.
Brilliant. Yeah. Cut. Let's do one more. That deep.
There we go. That's just kind of a taste of a very easily run set. And then I don't think there's anything else to mention before watching it, I suppose.
No, see it all come together.
After all that, we kind of added graphics and talked to the client about, it's case by case. Some people in the room might go, not enough branding here. Some people go, there's too much. Some people just want it on their page. For us, it's the, I might say that afterwards, that fishing thing. Cool. All right, let's watch this.
All right, 7 a.m, pub's open.
G'day guys, today's Smoko specials, we have activated dare ice coffee and deconstructed sausage rolls.
Hey, what would you like?
I'll have half cold meat pie, but can I have a Maximus instead of a Big M?
We're going to have to quote you on that. Do you have an email address? Okay, we can do that. It should be ready between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. tomorrow.
There's your knife, and we'll just go and get you your fork.
That comes to $50 plus GST.
That's like double.
Yeah, it's Saturday. Double bubble.
And there's Richard Wilkins out the front, just walking his dog.
Wet sight, guys.
Everyone into the staff room until it dries off.
Hey, newbie, we should get a drink after this.
Tiff, that's enough out of you. Don't worry about her, she's harmless.
What tap beers have you got at the moment?
There's the Apprentice Lager, that's a new one, it's pretty weak. Got the Sparky Ale, it's soft and lets a lot of people down. And finally we got the Foreman IPA. To be honest, that one tastes a bit like dog shit.
Have you got the Plumber's Pilsner?
We did, but the tap's broken.
We prefer cash as well.
Of course you do.
2:45 p.m, last drinks everyone.
So that was that went up. Went really well actually. So in 24 hours, there's some stats there. Had 1.4 million views. We only put $180 behind it, and 121,000 engagements. Some nice comments on the right, and then currently it's at. Well, it's funny because like. Luckily we put that kind of branding, and I'm not sure if you saw the watermark on the top right, and there was bits and pieces through it, and there's a nice call to action, what they want. We feel that if you entertain them enough, they'll be there for the call to action, and they'll actually probably receive it well. Yeah, it's kind of at 5 million, but if you count the pages like Electrical Tradies Facebook page, who just ripped it and put it up there themselves, that's got another 3 or 4 million views or something. So we just hope that the branding did its work. You're never going to be able to manage people stealing your content, but it happens. We had a stat before.
Yeah, we were looking at this before. So out of page likes, in terms of when we posted it to, it was like 2 weeks after.
34,000 likes on the day we posted it, and then
went up to like 42.
43,000 after 2 weeks.
So we were breaking that down earlier, and we thought, okay, in like worst case scenario, out of that like 7,600 people that liked it after we posted that, if 1% of those transferred into customers, that's still 76 customers out of like
7,000 or something.
Out of a 2-minute video, like crazy.
And I don't know if this sounds offensive to the consumers, but we try and treat it like we're a fishing trawler. And we kind of put the content out, and then we get everyone to kind of go, oh, that's kind of funny, and I might like that page. And we kind of gather those likes and bring them all in. And now if we net 7,000 likes in 2 weeks, then the people that are much more clever than us, which are a lot of you guys out there who talked today and yesterday, then you can actually target them with messaging because now you have new fans and new people that like the page. I won't get into that because I don't get it, but yeah, I think that's good. I think people like that. Anyway, that's us. Oh, that wasn't too hard, was it?
No.
And we're going to do a couple of bloody questions. And again, I might not know anything, so just warning up front.
If we throw around the microphone.
Yeah, kick the mic around. Or get the
if
fuck
any
out of here.
Beer time.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyone?
I think we just covered everything. That's all.
We're just that good.
Don't. She can't answer a thing. Sorry, ask a thing.
Hello.
Hi.
So we're with an education recruitment agency, and how would you go about creating humour? I guess humorous content directed towards teachers, because you want to be sensitive still, so it's kind of hard to play the line.
Teachers their sense of humour is the dirtiest out of most people.
They are hilarious.
They love dark stuff.
True.
Yeah.
We don't want to go too. We
True.
don't want to go too dark.
Offending them.
Yeah.
Yeah, without offending. Oh, obviously, there's definitely a line. I think just being able to ride that. It's such an interesting one. It's being able to ride that line of being edgy and not crossing the line. It becomes harder and harder, especially in recent times. Like, just there's the angry people get angry at that. Wait 2 weeks and they'll forget it. They'll move on to the next thing. But there's never really the desire to cross that line. There's
a lot of politically correct space that I think you can play in all the time if you have those boundaries. Like, even for us, like we've worked with alcohol brands, and there's a lot of space, there's a lot of restrictions in that space that you can't cross because you can never portray someone as being drunk so to play with a brand and know that that's where your guideline is, it almost makes it easier, I think.
Yeah, true. Well, when we work with, like, so lawyers for Carlton United Breweries, when we were doing stuff with Cougar Bourbon, they saw our scripts about a camping and drinking while they were camping, and we couldn't be 15 meters away from the water and have a can in hand at the same time. So you're always going to be playing with this stuff, but probably a point that I should have brought up earlier and really made big on is if you're relatable, then you're funny. I don't think you go out to be funny. You go out to be relatable and honest. And once you're that, people go, "Oh, that is true." That's and they kind of resonate with it. So it's getting into the heads of teachers. What are what is their pain points? What annoys them? Without being like dark or I want to kill one of those kids, whatever. Just being on the other side of that. But there's still the little things where I don't know. I'm going to guess like I imagine there's a real kind of hierarchy of where teachers park when they get there and
how many of the shit kids? How many of the shit drawings they stick up at home that the kids do?
Yeah. So like that we're already those two little things that wouldn't offend anyone. So yeah, it's just being really relatable there. Anything else? Oh, another question.
Don't know if anyone can throw that far. Oh, catch.
Yeah, round of applause. That was great.
So I work for an agency and I've got a whole bunch of clients, but getting them to spend money on video is really, really, really challenging, and they don't see the value in it. So do you have any advice around that?
It's correct, and it's expensive for a reason, because there are so many people. Sometimes people undervalue what it takes to put a production together. There's the writing, there's the pre-production, there's the producers, there's the costume designers, there's the budget for that. Then you get on set that day and there's 10 to 15, 20 people. You got to pay all them, and they're really good at what they do, so you got to pay them well. So yeah, it's definitely a tough one, and we've especially when we hear this all the time. It's just for social, and it's like that's dying off. And I really think that I started to see a swing at Sportsbet when I was there, because I was there in 2009, 2010, and they were spending so much on TV, and we were just good luck to us for the little in-house camera we had, and then those budgets really started to swing. And I do believe Sportsbet's has one of the best marketing teams in Australia, and they saw that swing, and they really focused some energy and marketing and spend into that. And I'm starting to see it at CUB, which is great, and I think it's just hang in there. It's one of those things like it will get better, and people are coming around. It's a nervous. I think a lot of people are very nervous by how immediate and honest the feedback is on social. This is the fucking shittest thing I've ever seen. You don't get that on TV ads. You might get a couple of tweets, whatever, a couple of complaints by people that don't have anything better to do. But
yeah,
on social,
you can't, to look at an ad on TV, you can't see whether anyone likes it or not. As a consumer, you don't know. Whereas when it is a social ad, you see that. But the flip side of that is you see the good. Like, you can immediately see, as anyone who looks at that, they go, well, like, fuck, that got...
It's the greatest focus group ever. It's a free focus group.
Yeah.
But it's clients and managers and everyone going, let's have a crack at this. And it's convincing them, everyone's on social media. Everyone has a Facebook account. A lot of my mates now, I'm 29, I directed that Kinney show on Channel 10. People going, I'd see people at parties and stuff and go, I plugged in my my cable into the TV to turn on Channel 10 this year for you. So like, people are definitely unplugging on free to air. Maybe that's just because they're streaming from 10 Play or whatever. But it's a nervous gamble, not a gamble, but it's nervous when the feedback's so immediate. Sorry, we're running over. Anything else? Oh shit. Is that it?
We don't feel bad.
Yeah, we're fine. Cool. Happy? Well, I hope. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.